So, just wanted to touch base on my heroes. A lot of people think I have to follow my heroes or I have to be in the limelight of my heroes just because, they're my heroes and I'm going to follow them to the ends of the earth, which is not necessarily true. In some cases, I probably shouldn't be following my heroes because, there's been some songs that they've written. There's been some songs that my heroes, like one of my heroes, have written that had inspired me for the longest time. That he actually had written a song or two, which actually might, which actually might speak of me and him kind of telling me off in a way and etc. Because he wants to speak, he feels like he wants to use his voice to speak his mind and finally say what's on his heart and his mind to the people that, or either, to him, or probably either, for him, he considered to be toxic or whatever else. Obviously, there was a situation that happened between me and Joseph, which was a big misunderstanding. That was a very big toxic situation to me. Who knows if it was really big and toxic to him, but there is a song that Joseph Arthur had written. It's called "Before Your Love Is Gone," which is on the Arthur Buck album, I believe, which is his, contribution album with Peter Buck, who worked with like REM and stuff like that. But it's a song called "Before Your Love Is Gone," which which I believe is a huge stab in the face to me because. It was like a huge slap in the face because, the way he went, way he kind of came out and said that, but, I've always thought, some people say, oh, they have this idea that we're rivals or we should not be, I should not be like, supporting Joseph because of our misunderstanding, but I've tried to always be in good graces and I've always tried to hold on to the good about Joseph and still kind of like, keep in contact with Joseph and his music and etc., right? But then that song "Before Your Love Has Gone" came out, and my counselor said it was about Jesus. Well, that same counselor was the same counselor that got me kind of fucked up about, the whole stuff about Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter and shit like that, which you can never take him sometimes seriously because sometimes you just want to, like, wring his little neck because he's acting like a fucking, idiot because, he tells you one thing and then kind of wants to deny it to everybody else. Like, I didn't tell you to go do this, this, and this in therapy, or I'm not going to be able to tell you this in therapy because he wants to play like the clause thing like it's not like legit. But he did kind of say to me though that that actual song he thought was more about Jesus. So for me personally, I thought the song was calling me an idiot child because I wanted to be an artist, or I wanted to follow in the footsteps to be an artist, and Joseph Arthur really inspired me to do that. But Joseph, I think, maybe was trying to tell me, on the other hand, that I was actually being an idiot child to just follow his, to follow the situation as is, and try to be an artist and etc. So, I think he I don't know if it's necessarily about me, I don't know if it's necessarily about something he went through, but it almost sounds like he was putting me down for, like, my mental health issues and stuff like that, which transpired because of a situation, because of a toxic woman that got between me and him and kind of created this huge misunderstanding and this huge divide between me and him and kind of ruined my connection and friendship with him, But, Joseph Arthur's speaking his mind these days, too. Joseph Arthur's very big on, anti-vaccination, because he has his rights and his opinion as an American citizen to say how he feels and what he believes in. But for a lot of people, everybody knows that, a lot of people should feel, I mean, not everybody does, that, getting vaccinated and protecting yourself from COVID is a very good thing. I myself got vaccinated. I'm not listening to Joseph Arthur saying, don't get vaccinated or all this conspiratorial stuff about the vaccination stuff, but so that's where I disagree with him on that. But I kind of do agree with him in a way too when it comes to like certain issues about like not everybody like going one way, right? Everybody's going one way, and then everybody's going one way, and then you're going another, right? So. Hold on, I gotta go shut this fucking motherfucking, slam the damn thing. Couldn't come at the most annoyingest time, So, anyways, so what the fuck was I about to say? You know what? You motherfucking pizza. So anyways, he talking, as I was saying before, he's talking about anti-vaccination and stuff like that. Um, and he's talking about that. And I don't believe in anti-vaccination. I believe, if a virus is going around killing people and the virus is that bad and it's worse than pneumonia, you should get protected, right? But at the same time, he has this, he has this point that, a lot of people are trying to follow the crowd one way, and it's like everybody's trying to follow the crowd for vaccination. Everybody's trying to follow the crowd for Black Lives Matter. Well, from my opinion, this is kind of where I'm kind of going into this with this, is that everybody's following the crowd for Black Lives Matter or this or that, and it's like everybody's not afraid. If you believe something different, if you speak something different, you're either labeled as a racist or a conspiracy nut or something that's not necessarily considered to be very positive, because you want to speak against the crowd, and all the crowd wants to believe this, and this, because the majority believes it, and if you don't, then you're obviously seen as the outcast. But it's like me with Black Lives Matter. I mean, I don't, it's not, as I said before, it's not that I don't believe that Black lives shouldn't matter. It's just the fact that I don't want to be tied to any type of movements. And because I'm speaking about the fact that I don't want to be tied to any movements, I'm probably going to get a lot of slack from Black Lives Matter and from a lot of other people that, obviously, if you're not supporting the movement, blah, 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 like I'm supposed to be some type of racist. And, it's kind of that backslash for just following your own opinion, your own voice, and your own situation, to be able to, hear your voice and to hear what you have to do and say. So, I'm at the point where I'm just chilling at this point, and just chilling and doing the thing I have to do. And, I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to cope, and, so, but anyways, I just wanted to say that too. It's just too much distractions. Too many fucking distractions! God almighty, goddammit. Losing my train of thought, and I'm not happy about it. I wanted to do this video cleanly, swiftly, and more on point, and I can't do that with the fucking alarm going off and other fucking things happening. It's like, what the fuck? Can you tell I'm fucking annoyed this morning? I am fucking annoyed. Anyways, I wanted to talk about, just the fact that, Joseph's going one way, and he's really slapped me in the face and etc. And he's kind of going one way with the situation. And for me personally, it's like, I don't agree with everything Joseph has to say. Actually, Joseph wants to believe in the far, and not the far right, but he wants to believe in the right, because he feels the left has gone too left. And I feel like the left has gone too left, but I'm still not going to go towards any type of Republican party or, any type of far right, political party, because technically, that's my mom's a Republican. My mom believes in Republican stuff, and I know how that works for Republicans, and I've been around Republicans long enough to know that my head will spin. And I will get into a fucking tizzy when people get really conservative on me and I still can't have certain beliefs. I mean, it's like I'm a mixture still between Republican and Democratic a little bit, I want to say. But I mean, it's like, I want to say that if we don't join forces and we don't start agreeing on something between both the Democrats and the Republicans, we're gonna screw this fucking country. We're gonna fucking screw the fucking country, and I mean that all seriously. It's like too far left and too far right, and everybody wants their opinions, but nobody's willing to level and actually get shit done to make healing and the country prosper and shit like that. So, but But for me personally, I don't think I want to identify with either Democrat or Republican because it's usually just a tit for a tat, and it really fucking sucks. I mean, I almost wanted to talk to the Republican Party this year, you know. I almost wanted to talk to the Republican Party and talk to the, you know, the Republican senators and stuff, because I know there's a little Republican, you know, thing, you know, being set up, you know, down the road, you know, down like around the block, that there's a little Republican thing. I almost wanted to get just an opinion from the Republicans. I mean, I've already had my moment at one point in time where I've talked to the Democrats, and the Democrats made me feel all right, but there was still kind of a very uneasiness around the Democrats. So, and I've tried to bring my stuff up to the Democrats, and the Democrats won't really want to hear you out, especially on voting day and stuff like that. If there's something that they want to talk to them about, they won't hear you out, or they won't like talk to you about it. So, I mean, there was something I wanted to approach Michelle Cook on. Actually, I wanted to approach Michelle Cook on something about, you know, some of the things that have been happening now with like the lack of male counselors, and you know, in the program of mental health, and how they need to get more male counselors or more male workers, because you know there's some male clients that might probably do better with a male than compared to a female. But everybody's saying to me now, it's like, you know, you gotta take what you get, and it's like a big, you know, it's a big fucking thing that's up in the air. That's, I don't know, but regardless of the fact, everybody thinks I'm going to follow Joseph Arthur to the ends of the world, and that's not necessarily the case. I almost gave up on Joseph Arthur, actually. And then I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to give up on the connection, because you know, I carried the connection for almost 15 years of being, you know, connected to Joseph Arthur. Actually, maybe a little less than 15 years, you know. But I know around high school, which, you know, was still about 15 years ago, then, um, I carried this connection to, you know, that I was really inspired by Joseph Arthur. So I didn't really want to lose that. But at the same time, if Joseph kind of speaking his mind and putting me down and stuff like that, I've always had that question of like, why am I still supporting him? And it's like, because I want to see the good in fucking people, and I always want to see the good in fucking people until I get fucking hurt or fucking, you know, fucking mentally destroyed, which usually happens, you know? Usually happens in my fucking case. So, but, you know, I don't know, you know, regardless of the factor, I'm trying to breathe, I'm trying to do my thing, and trying to do what I have to do. Joseph Arthur actually lost a record deal. He lost a record deal, according to what I actually like heard him say. He lost a record deal. He lost his manager. He lost a lot of things for speaking his mind about how he was feeling and stuff like that, and how he was feeling about his faith, or his political views. That he lost the manager, and he lost a lot of his his whole artistic team. So now he's not sure when he's going to be able to put an album out and stuff like that. But he was working on new music and stuff. And I think actually at one point too, somebody also wanted him off of a project that they were working on with him. That they also told him they wanted him off of a project. So, that's going on with that. But you know, for me, I'm not necessarily saying I'm with the Republicans, so everybody can be like, you know, chill about it and say, you know, he's not, at least he's not with the racists, because I'm not, you know. I will level with the Republicans, because this country was built on, you know, Republican, you know, views plus, you know, Democratic views. When it came to our country and getting things done, it was built on those principles and those views. And there's independent, but independent is also sometimes a mixture of Republican and Democratic. So I don't know, but for me, it's like I believe a little bit of what the Democratic might say, although the Democratic has been really annoying the fuck out of me in the last couple of years, and I believe kind of what the Republicans have to say a little bit, because I just kind of was raised kind of conservatively a little bit, not that I want to kind of rope myself into too much Republicanism, but I mean, I want to say that why can't we, you know, meet in the middle, you know? So, but I don't know. You know, everybody thinks I follow Joseph Arthur to the ends of the earth, and that's not the case. Everybody thinks that Joseph Arthur is the reason why I do the reason. That's what people think now. Is Joseph Arthur is the big reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not the case. Joseph Arthur was a big influence to what I was doing, but now it's like my own thing. I mean, I've learned I can do a whole lot more on my own, and I don't really even need to. At the end of the day, I don't really need Joseph Arthur, right? I don't need Joseph Arthur to be an artist. I just need to write and paint and do what I need to do to create and be a creative. I don't really need Joseph Arthur to really inspire me. I mean, even though he is an inspiration, I don't need him to inspire me. There's always other people to be an inspiration. So, but some people say he's going really downhill and he's lost friends and he's gained friends, and a lot of people are speaking all kinds of different things about him and the situation. So, but everybody says I follow Joseph Arthur to the ends of the world, and I probably won't, because he has different points of view. And obviously, I think if Joseph Arthur and I could say things, I'll say our open minds to our faces, then I don't know, we might have two different points of view and opinions to the point we might have to go our separate ways. But and that's always that possibility. Obviously, I haven't kept in contact with Joseph Arthur since our misunderstanding, because he wanted to go a separate way and I wanted to go a separate way, and that's kind of what had to happen, because I overreacted and I was getting ready to to say some things that I really don't want to talk about. But it was over a female that a female that was actually a friend of mine that I had a lot of love for at one point, and the love went toxic, and was also a Joseph Arthur fan and, follower, and she was kind of well aware that I was also going to be really good close to Joseph Arthur and stuff like that, and she helped her, have her opinions and stuff on the situation and stuff, and help sabotage it. So, and she obviously started calling me crazy and stuff too. After I had my mental illness, she started calling me crazy. She didn't want to help me out and figure out what was wrong with my mental health. She just started calling me crazy and shit, because I started believing I was hearing voices that actually very much sound like her and her boyfriend talking about me. Like I believe I constantly hear this woman that, and her boyfriend kind of talk about me, about the situation, and it's like, it's the scar that I gotta live with. Some people say I deserve it, because there was a time too, during that time, I was really holding on to this woman that drove me nuts, that I believe I can fucking hear. And some people say I fucking deserve it, because it's driving me absolutely fucking nuts. And some other females and stuff too got their hearts broken, and I was obviously being a jerk, and obviously to some women in my mental health program and etc. So I was obviously being a jerk and a piece of shit, and played with some hearts and etc. all because I wasn't getting what I wanted, and but at the end of the day, karma goes around, comes around. And one part of my karma that I believe I gotten, and part of the karma that I believe I actually suffer with, is the fact that I now have to hear these fucking voices, and I've kind of accepted that, I mean, they're auditory hallucinations that almost sound like the fucking bitch, and it's like, I can't believe a bitch would actually be that powerful, or be that, important to drive me fucking nuts, so I hear her voice for the rest of my life, but that's what I do, it's what I fucking do. It's like, these auditory hallucinations that sound like the bitch, driving me up a fucking wall, and that's what they are. They're just auditory hallucinations, so, I mean, I've been through a couple computers too. I smashed a couple of computers. I've had computer issues. My laptop went. I got a laptop and I got the blue screen of death. I smashed my last computer because the fan went on it, and I got so tired of my mental illness that I actually took a hammer to my touchscreen computer, my old school touchscreen computer. I actually took a hammer to the damn thing, and I started smashing the fuck out of it and threw it in the trash. So, so it's like one of those situations where, I have to live with my demons, and I have to, make sure I'm not being driven up a wall, and remember that I'm just, I have an illness, and I hear auditory hallucinations because I've been through some trauma and some shit because of a lot of things that were very unfortunate and very, very big mishaps that should have never really happened to me in the first place, regardless, I'm an artist. I paint, I create, Some people say I don't deserve to be an artist. Some people say I don't deserve to be in this spot. But I was already in this spot. I was already in this spot of being an artist and etc. Especially when when I was already connected to the whole Joseph Arthur thing. I was already connected to a lot of the artist stuff that I was almost going to at one point going to be a big part of, almost going to be a really big part of an artist and stuff like that. I actually went back to kind of connecting myself to the arts and trying to get back into connecting to the arts after I kind of lost myself for a little bit because of my mental health. I had to go back to the root of my situation of what would make me happy, and the truth is being an artist makes me very happy at the same time. But when it comes to people, people and connections around people, sometimes people can really trigger me. I don't. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. I think it has to do with my traumas of my childhood. That a lot of them I probably blacked out. But every once in a while, I have a problem around certain individuals and certain people that sometimes becomes very toxic. That certain individuals or certain my headspace becomes very unbalanced. But I'm not gonna say it's happened with certain people because I'm very, very clear on what I feel right now. Granted, I want to KO a couple motherfuckers, but I still want to KO a couple motherfuckers, and that's the clearness of my voice because people are springing me along and telling me one thing and telling me all this good stuff, but they're really kind of fucking me over, or not being real to my face. Thank you, Chichala. Thank you, Chichala. I know you're gonna see this fucking video. Anyways, Anyways, so regardless, some people don't think I should be supporting Joseph Arthur. I need some water. My voice is kind of doing that thing again when I'm talking, and my voice is I need water when I talk half the time in these videos. I don't even have coffee in my cup yet. I haven't made my first cup of coffee, but But yeah, some people think I shouldn't be supporting Joseph Arthur because of that misunderstanding. But those kind of thoughts and those kind of situations were led by the same person that basically set me up for that misunderstanding. She's leading a bunch of people to say, "Oh, I was responsible for doing this, and this," but doesn't want to take responsibility for her toxic behaviors and situations that kind of added to the situation. So she doesn't look as guilty or upsetting because it just has to be put on my fault, I just went crazy or something, and she wasn't the trigger of the problem. So she's getting away with a lot, and there's a lot of rumors going around I'm supposed to be at fault or I'm the enemy of Joseph Arthur, which I'm not the enemy of Joseph Arthur. I mean, let's face it, I've been supporting Joseph Arthur, and I don't think Joseph Arthur said too much, but I mean, actually there's times where he has said some things to me, or has some of my comments on Instagram and stuff like that. But we don't really talk like that. But I mean, he has some of my comments and stuff on Instagram. But I don't really, I'm not really in Joseph's life as I almost once was back in 2008 to 2010. I was actually at some of the gallery showings. I was actually hanging out with some high class celebrities and stuff like that. But it is what it is. Obviously people want to fuck me over. This is another thing too, where people are trying to fuck me over again when it comes to my artwork and my poetry and stuff like that. People want to, the state of Connecticut now is trying to do it and try to take some of the poets and some of the artists that are now miraculously taking jobs for Toivo and stuff like that. And Toivo is a mental health, wellness center that works with my mental health program. So now it's going to be a big thing where I might end up being fucked over by my own mental health program, where this is not right, or this is not actually, this is not actually just. But some people might say it's karma, because some people say, oh, you left me behind for your career, or you left me in the dust, and you stopped talking to me, and you just didn't say anything to me, and you just left me to make a whole new life for yourself. And it's yes I did. If you knew all the dramas and shit shit and all the toxicity attached to certain people that I had to leave behind to just give myself a peace of mind and a betterment of my world and my life, then you would understand why I'm not talking to certain people and why people are upset, because a lot of them are tied to like a lot of toxicity and a lot of problems that I am trying to leave behind, especially so I can be an artist and I can, pursue an artist's career or an artist's dream of mine that I've always wanted to have. I mean, granted, right now, Joseph Arthur's not really involved in too much of it, besides, sometimes me seeing his social media stuff and, me seeing, like, his videos and stuff and, kind of taking some of it in and kind of discarding some of it at this point. But Joseph Arthur's really not a big part, Joseph Arthur's not really a big part of being in my life. And he's not gonna be. People say, "Oh, he's just doing this for Joseph Arthur." Joseph Arthur's not in my life. All this is basically me at this point. That I'm scrambling and I'm stumbling over all these roadblocks and etc. just to try to figure out how to make, better build on the fact that I can have an artistic career, an artistic page, and be a type of artist that I've always wanted to be. People like fail to realize how much work goes into being an artist and how much effort goes into being an artist until they have to realize that when they get to that point that there's a lot of shit that goes into being an artist. Sometimes it's not all fun and games. Sometimes it's hours of work, it's hours of painting, it's hours of sitting down in front of your computer and learning how to type. It's the effort you put into it. But a lot of people want to say a lot of shit, like I'm just like not worthy of my dreams, or I'm not worthy of this and that. But I don't know. But I'm not following Joseph Arthur to the ends of the earth, because obviously he's losing things. As long as I can help it, I don't want to lose connections. I don't want to lose my connections to people. I don't want to lose my connections to things like some things in the arts and etc. But at the same time, he had to lose some stuff, like his manager and stuff, for speaking his mind and for speaking against the crowd and stuff like that. I mean, as I said before, black people's lives matter. Black people's lives matter to me. Yes, they do, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna go with the whole organization of the cause or the movement of Black Lives Matter, because I'm not. I'm taking myself out of both the cause and the movement of Black Lives Matter, but we can say in general sense that Black lives are supposed to matter. Alright, so, it's just like I'm not going into all lives matter. I'm not going into Asian lives, I'm not going into all lives, I'm not going into black lives, I'm not even going into native lives. But at the same time, people's lives should matter, and, but I'm not trying to go connect myself to any of these racial groups. And it's so easy for people to point fingers and stuff, too. That's how ridiculous our society is getting. It's like, if you don't believe in something, you're automatically targeted for believing in something different, because, there's people be like, what other choices are there, and etc. So I'm kind of pissed about that. Like, for me, it's like, some people are going to be so quick to say, oh, you believe in all lives, because I said, because I'm saying a lot of people's lives matter. And why do people's lives not matter? I mean, but not that I want to be tied to all lives either. It's like, oh, this has gotten so fucking ridiculous in this political sense and this racial sense and etc. that it's driving me up a fucking wall, but I'm going to continue to speak my mind. I know Joseph is going through a lot, and he's been through a lot mental health wise and stuff like that. He's no longer in New York. He moved actually about a year ago, a couple months ago this year. He moved to Arizona. So he's all the way in Arizona with some people, that I don't talk to anymore, because there's a couple people in Arizona that I used to know. That actually had moved down to Arizona. So there, he's down there with some people that, that I almost used to know that were, used to be from Hartford and here in Torrington. So he's down in Arizona. He's no longer in New York, but I'm over here in, Northwest Connecticut, closer to New York, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm trying to do to, build on my career and build on my artistic, endeavors and etc., granted now, some people might get a little upset with me, or they might get I might get a little overshadowed now because some people might hear that, oh, you're a little bit inspired by Joseph Arthur, and then try to give me like a shadow about it because Joseph Arthur's kind of having this shadow on his career and stuff for some of the choices and things he's made. Some things I think are out of his control. Some things I think are just people's choices of how they reacted to him. But you never know because I don't know the full situation. I just know he lost his manager and stuff like that. And obviously there's two sides to each story. There's what you're responsible for, and there's how other people react and etc. and what they're responsible for. So it's like me, I can't be responsible for how everybody else feels, but at the same time, I'm only responsible for how I feel, what I think and believe, and how I'm going to implement that and go about it. So, but I just wanted to say that. I'm going to get offline because I want to go make a cup of coffee. But regardless, I'm not going to follow Joseph Arthur to the ends of the earth. I mean, I don't agree with everything he has to say, but I do agree with the fact that he wants to help protect our rights, but still protect our rights as a citizen of America. If you believe something different, if you want to speak your mind on something different, you should still have a right to, without being ridiculed and persecuted for it because everybody's going one way, when really some people want to go another way because they feel that they have they feel in their right mind and etc. that they should go and speak how they want to speak against it or etc. So, but I just wanted to say that, I just wanted to say that at this point, but, anyways, I'm getting offline. I gotta go make a cup of coffee, or get something to drink, yeah, I didn't take my reflux medications yesterday, which I kind of realized my stomach was really kind of really fucked up yesterday, and I didn't take my blood sugar medications either, but I took them today, but I forgot to take my medications yesterday. I kind of realized it when I went to sleep, but I got knocked out, and I didn't take my medications, so I took them this morning, but I'm actually a day without my medications, so, not good, but...